there is a new data set, DS-nomics data set, economics, nomics, DS-nomics. 57 countries and 5 million variables we have access to. Majority of the variables are financial variables.
Oh, great.
Including our central bank in Turkey, not yet our settlement.
Okay, just a small question. How do you measure the financial development variable? What is the definition of the variable for financial development?
Okay. There are traditional measures and there is one untraditional measure. Traditional measures includes like M2 over GDP or some other variables. There is one index which is called composite index of the financial development. In this one we measure it by M2 over GDP, which I doubt that it's a good idea. I will employ index because that includes access, efficiency, and all those other dimensions of the financial development. It's a composite index. I will include that one and see if that correlation still exists with that index. Because M2, I'm not really sure with so much money and knowing that there is an increased money supply by the main central banks, may not be a good measure of, or maybe index will be a better measure of the financial development. But traditionally it is measured by M2 over GDP.
Okay, thank you. Other questions, comments?
Can
Yes,
I ask?
please. Yeah.
You said you have your own theory about why central banks are, keeping high liquidity, why interest rates are slow. I'm a political economist, so we have our own, theories about that.
Okay.
And so basically, it is argued in general that, as the wages are stagnant in advanced countries, but they want to keep the consumption level. So that's why, especially after 2000, the US economy mainly I'm talking about, when the US economy started to decline, the growth rates decline, but they still wanted to keep the demand in the economy. So by keeping interest rates low, actually, they allowed working class people at least to be able to consume things without actually having an increase in their income. So especially the low interest rates on mortgages. So it was like a social benefit for the poor people. So they were given, even the very risky people, very low income people were able to actually get mortgages, very low interest rates in that period. And they could actually take credit more easily, use credit card very easily. So it was a kind of a way to keep the system working in a worsening economic environment, which of course continued until the crisis. So is it your theory also, or you have
No, I'm afraid no. I'm afraid no. When was euro physically was in circulation?
2004.
2004. So my reading says that there was a great effort by Fed to keep the cost of holding American dollar low as possible, to keep the euro down. That's my reading. There are not much people arguing or debating that. But when you look at how euro launched into the market and then start to improve and start to get stronger and stronger in the world trade, and then the decline, and when you look at the money supplies of the Fed and monetary policies and all that, there are some hints. That's, as I told you, that's a conspiracy. That is the feeling I have.
Okay.
So more than the pools in US, I believe that it's a part of, I wouldn't call it foreign policy of US, but somehow when you keep the cost of holding dollar low, people will not hold euro. They will not. That's my perception. As I said, it's conspiracy. I have no data, no finding or anything else. Maybe some of my friends here may comment on that.
That also makes US dollar cheaper. In terms of trade, it made US schools more competitive, compared to the euro at the same time. So it has such a benefit as well to the US economy.
So I think that it's a part of the trade war, and US won that at the expense of Iceland and many other people, countries. That's my perception, as I said. You may find it that it's a conspiracy. I believe so, but
Can we test it?
I don't know, Hocam. You may tell us whether.
No, we can start with a research project.
Yeah, we can think about it to see if there are such things in the monetary policies, to see, whether it was on purpose kept low to keep the cost of holding American dollar low, therefore making euro more expensive, which will make the world trade not to be ruled by euro, but still ruled by American dollar. Because I remember that sometimes it was like 60 to 40%. Euro achieved like 40%. World trade was done by euro, and then 60% was done by American dollar. But then euro started to decline. And it happened in all that spectrum. 2004 and then crisis and all that, euro went down in the share of the world trade. And I believe it's related with the holding cost of euro.
Also in 2000 there was a foreign exchange intervention by four biggest Bank of Canada, Bank of the Federal Reserve Bank, Bank of Japan, to increase the value of euro. They did it against the Chinese yen. So probably they've seen China as a more formidable threat than euro. That's why. But there are some discussions about why the interest rates are so low. Some people claim like because there was a scarcity of very safe assets. Everybody wants to buy this US 3-month treasury bills. That's why the interest rates are very low, because it's too risky. Everybody's just it's called flight to liquidity. Like global saving gluts, declining real treasury, because the Westerners are getting older, so their demography is changing. Like in Japan, in the 30 years, their economy is stagnating, and they tried every monetary policy tool possible. It's not going well. So some people are adopting that euro is already in that trap, and US is about to enter that trap if they are following more restrictive immigration policies. Like it seems like with Donald Trump and so it's being more restrictive. There are some theories about why the interest rates are so low. But
Yes, Volga.
I was gonna ask one final question about like the kind of data you have. You said you have data on 14 years. What is this range exactly? Which years does it start and then from?
Good question. I don't know, but let me see here and tell you that. Must be written somewhere.
Well, even if it isn't there, I would, comment on whether it includes 2008 and beyond. So perhaps after 2008 and following until 2016 and 17, if there's data available, we could look at for example, US's case, where the interest rates are rising above zero, and the economy is kind of getting a bit hotter or compared to other years, maybe a bit artificially, and as I said, as they are increasing immigration policies, you could test before that period and after to test for this.
I got you. I mean, divide the periods before and after. I cannot find, but it must be written somewhere in this paper. Period. I know that it doesn't reach to 2017. I think it ends in 2016 or something like that. 2000 to 2015.
Okay.
2000 to 2015.
So if we were to reach more maybe relevant data, then we could actually, you know, see the climate changing and, you know, whether shadow banking is, you know, affected by this change. Yeah, this could be something of value.
So pre and post crisis.
Maybe, yeah. And more specifically, the changes after 2008, when they, you know, had QE, you know, initiatives, and they pumped again a lot of liquidity into the market. And the interest rates were again zero for a while, but after maybe 2016 they started rising. That could also be an interesting area to study.